Okay guys, so I'm up here on Horse Pasture Road, and this is a road that takes you up to Jumping Off Rock, where you can overlook Lake Jocassee, watch the sunset there. One of my favorite little dirt road trips to take. I got my trusty Jeep Fang with me today, and Fang and I, oh, haven't showed you Fang in a while, actually has a tag now, it's Fang on it. And I did a little art on the dash. It's got a little piece of art up there. Hey, like my banana. Okay, so we are up here. I don't know what the name of this little waterfall is. I guess you should learn. But cool little stop. Usually there's a pool of water at the bottom, but with all the storms with Helene and everything, that's filled in with dirt and sand and stuff. You see what that looks like. This road is around 11-12 miles. Speed limit's 15 miles an hour on it. It's owned by Duke Energy, and it's open to the public. When they open up all the gates, you can actually go all the way down to Lake Jocassee to an old boat landing that's there. You can see the dam. There's other roads that branch off of that ended up coming out in one of the cliff developments. So you end up driving through a housing development that's gated, but they don't gate off this road, so when those gates are open, you can go out that way. But there is some cell service up here, so if you're wondering about that kind of thing, it's spotty, but at Jumping Off Rock, you can get a signal. There's lots of little roads up here to explore. If they're not open, you can hike them. So during hunting season, they generally open them up. So I don't know if I'll go all the way up there today. It's getting kind of late. It is, let's see, 7 o'clock. It's time for me to eat some supper, so I probably won't go. I don't know, I might go all the way up. But I'm not filming my drive because I got that in other videos that I'll upload at some point. Anyway, have a good day. Get out and explore. Helene tree damage, and there are some places on the road where the road has caved off, and they've tried to build those areas back up. Yeah, lots and lots of tree damage up here. They put down new gravel, which is nice. Hear all my crap rattling on the dash. Lots of good old boys come up here. You can bring a car up here. I never have, but mostly you can get up through here in a car. You don't need a Jeep to do it. Just got to be slow and careful. When it rains real hard, there's places where there's pretty good sized puddles you go through. The road does get washboarded real easy. The leaves are starting to come out up here. You can tell we're in spring. And I was getting eaten alive by mosquitoes and other bugs. That's to be expected. All right, I'll show you some more later. Here's some of that erosion from Hurricane Helene over there. You can see where the road's caved off and trees have come down. So I stopped here a minute to show you a kind of a long-range view. There's a few of these kind of views up here. Very peaceful. I'd love to camp in that field right there. Well, I'd have to clear out a spot, but just listening to the crickets and stuff. Well, went a little further than I intended to. I may go all the way up now. I want to show you this part of the road. So there's parts of the road you're going to go right through these dirt little hills here, and then down here there's what I call the moguls, where it just the road is just like that all the way up and all the way down. Looks like a Prius is coming up. Like I said, you can bring a car up here. That may be a Tesla, I'm not sure. But here's the reason I stopped right here. Look at that view. That is gorgeous. See, the sun's getting pretty low in the sky. That is beautiful. So here we are, we're almost up to Jumping Off Rock, and I wanted to show you this. So this is the road I'm on. There's one of the offshoots. The gate's open, that's really rare. That's Cane Creek Road, and that'll take you down through the cliffs if you have to get out this way. But those gates are rarely open, so it's nice to see it's open now. So I made it to the parking area for Jumping Off Rock. That's it up there, just to the left, or to the right of that truck. It goes up the hill. And then there's a little parking area there. But you'll notice there's a gate here that's open. That gate is very rarely open. So this takes you down to the lake. And you know, I've been to Jumping Off Rock a lot. I'll just show you a photo from one of my previous trips to Jumping Off Rock. And the sunset. I'm gonna drive you down to the lake. Well, sometimes you get what you want. Sometimes you get what you deserve. Sometimes you get things you weren't expecting. So this is the road I came down just now. Normally takes you all the way down to the water. And they've got a gate. And it's locked. I will say this road is in much worse, this part of the road is in much worse condition than the road I took up to Jumping Off Rock. A lot more tree damage that I didn't film, but it looks like a disaster zone in sections. But here's the lake through the trees. Not going to be much of a sunset tonight. The sun's almost already behind the mountain. There's too much fog or something that's blocking the sun rays. But you know, when it drops below the horizon enough, rays usually shoot up through the sky, so it might still be a redeemable sunset. But here we are, me and Fang, just hanging out. And I'm hungry. It's past my supper time for real, y'all. And the restaurant I want to go to ain't going to be open when I get there, because it's going to take me an hour and a half to get there. And I think they close at 9. I haven't ever brought this Jeep up here, I don't believe. I think the last time I was up here, I rode a motorcycle. So it's been a little bit. It's been a little while. So there is another little road up here in this wide spot. But I was looking, well, it may go further than I thought. I might go down to the lake. Hell, I come this far, might as well give it a try. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. So Fang and I have made it down to the lake. And if I remember right, this is the old boat ramp. As you can tell, it's in disrepair. Big concrete slabs all busted up. I believe when I was a child, my Uncle Bobby would bring his boat up here. Me and Bobby and Dad, we would launch from here and go fish the lake. This is one of the cleanest, purest lakes you'll find anywhere. It's also one of the most dangerous ones to boat on if a storm was to come up. Storms come up here all the time, very quickly. So you better know what you're doing. You better be able to find shelter. Straight ahead, well, that's the Jocassee Dam. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. So there's the dam and the power station houses. I think that other road I was on actually took you down to the dam. So there's a dam road, and it was had a dam gate across it. But there is a town buried under this lake. And scuba divers love to come up here and search this lake for all those abandoned houses that were flooded when they flooded this valley. To me, this would be a fantastic place to camp. If I stay much later, I guess I will be camping. I'm gonna walk around this side. Look at the other side of the lake. Other side of this peninsula. There's a boat. I don't see very many of those, especially one that size out here. So they're going to dock it up here. Maybe do some night fishing. I've walked out on that rock out there in the middle. I don't have a lot of energy tonight, so I'm not going to try that. Because you kind of got to go down the bank to get there. Yeah, don't look like it was much of a sunset tonight. Still beautiful. Still one of the most gorgeous places around. Well, welcome. It's cut. Well, I reckon it's time for me to head back towards civilization. Nobody knows where I'm at, which is always a smart thing. Go someplace nobody knows where you are. And I love it out here. Getting pretty dark.